Good afternoon. This is Afternoon Sky. I'm your host, Sky. What the hell? Salute Dot Focus already in the building. Great. Let me get his banner up. Visit Dot Focus DOTFOCUS underscore on his YouTube channel and subscribe. Like and comment. If you enjoy Call of Duty and other first-person shooters, you will not be disappointed. He's always looking for that pink mist. Tell him that Silly Sky sent you. Keep that up. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. That clip was wild. Bumba's wild. Okay, so that's definitely racist. I'm gonna let it fly. He said pilot name was something Wong. Oh my god, yeah, that's what's going on. I mean, my sister and I joke about it all the time. It's not joke about it, but just we remark on it. These plane issues. There's one issue where it was a guy, one of the employees was trying to fill up the tank to the plane with the fuel, and it just sprayed all over the place and just got, I think, sprayed in his face and just got out of control. And it was just, and then there's all kinds of different fights and people, the doors opening and what is going on with the airlines? And don't say, oh, well, Trump is cutting back on the people that are working in air traffic controllers. They should be privatized. They should all be private. What's 07? Is that 67 or 07? What is that, Bumba? I don't know what you're saying. But anyway, the air traffic controller should not be a government job. They are working on Windows 95. Literally, I'm not just kidding. I'm not just saying that, as a exaggeration. They are literally working. Oh, I got you. I didn't know that we don't. I never heard of 07 in the military like that. But okay, maybe you know more than I. But yeah. So they're literally working on Windows 97 technology from 30 years ago. Literally, I'm not just saying, oh yeah, they must be working on that. No, they really are working on Windows 95 technology. That's not embarrassing. That's dangerous. That is horrific. That is a shame. That is a sad shame. That's why it needs to be privatized. We got these phones. I just ordered an iPhone 17 Pro Max. They should be running on, the latest operating system from either the leading brands of communication devices. The plane should be flown by themselves. There should be no more pilots. Let them find out another way to express themselves and stop getting drunk and getting into the cockpit. Pause. Focus says, well, most airports have the FAA there, which is a federal agency. Exactly. Most traffic controllers are federal or contracted. It's a mixture at most airports. Yeah. The system is collapsing, but more guns, ammo, and meds. Yeah. I say more guns and ammo and yeah, psych meds for me. Co-pilot name was Holy. I'm not going to say that, but that was funny. That's funny. I'll say Fook. Holy Fook. Like Fukushima. But yeah, so that was an Air China flight. And I mean, it's just like crazy. He says, I'm not joking. He's not playing. I hear you, Dot Focus. I see what you're saying. The collapse is near. Well, you did send me that. What was it? The meteor or something like that that's coming through. You did send me that. And did you see the Bill Nye? You see Bill Nye talking yesterday at the No Kings rally. I don't want to get too much on yesterday, but I just wanted to point that out. Oh, that's science. Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, these aircraft issues are becoming more frequent over and over and over again. Like I just started to pay attention to them in the last year or two. They're always on ABC News on evening ABC Evening News. Not John. What's his name? David Muir. He always covers. His news team always has a video of some kind of aircraft issue. I'm speaking on the world that we know of will drastically change in the future. Well, I was just watching a clip about Steve Bannon, one of the leaders of the alt right. Um, he's trying to say that Trump is going to be able to get into the White House for a third term. I can't wait. This is already the beginning. I can't. I just want. I'm gonna sit back with some popcorn one day and just look at everything. Look at the fire blaze. Or be like Nero and just play the what do you play, the flute or the fiddle or something like that while Rome burned or something. No more mammy pilots. Yeah, no more mammy. I agree with that. They got the bonnet on. They got the bonnet on. They got the loose fitting or the tight fitting uh uniform. What you talking about? What you saying? I'm gonna fly this plane. I see. Oh, you see next? Okay. I don't know about that, but all I'm saying that Ish is going to effing crazy. Ish is going effing crazy compared to when we were kids. LMFAO. He's having it. Yeah, well, times were crazy. I mean, I think in all history, it's not as bad. Like we see these are extreme cases. This is one flight out of tens of thousands of flights that nothing goes wrong. And we have to remember that we're more safe in an airplane than we ever are behind the wheel of a car or in the passenger seat of a car. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Air travel is the safest form of travel in all of human history. There have been maybe, I'll say, I don't want to venture a guess, but maybe there's been 10,000 or something like that, or less, probably less, probably like 4 or 5,000. I don't know, but I don't know how you count it anyway, because you say like September 11th, 2001. You count the people on the plane, or do you just count the people in the buildings? When you talk about air collisions? But what I'm saying is, millions of people have been killed in auto wrecks. Millions. So you really can't even compare. Air travel is so safe. This is just a super, gaff. This is like a super rare occurrence, even though like you see it on the news, like, oh my god, this is crazy. Bumba says new horror movie, Mammy's on a Plane. Yeah, that's the newish. And I'm gonna see if he comes in here. Let's see if Son of Sun 90 comes in here. I gotta talk to him. I gotta let him know. I appreciate his efforts, but I gotta stay trending. That's the whole point. That's what you see right now on your screen. If you're looking at the screen, you don't see my my ugly mug. You see trending. But yeah. So I see those aircraft videos, and I'm just like, But I want to go on the plane. I'm ready to go on the plane because not because God's got me or whatever it is. And that's the thing too. I can't wait when people say stuff like that. Well, the angels were around me. Heaven got busy. God was with me. I was able to survive. What about the people that didn't survive? Oh well. Oh, God needed them. He needed them more. That's the amazing thing about Christianity. It's so elastic. You can cover everything with it. You can say, "Hey, yeah, God was feeling it today. He was like, I need them in my kingdom. I need them to be asleep or something. Whatever. They don't even know. Can't even agree on what happens to you when you're dead. Oh, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But I thought you were asleep until then. And who's asleep if you're cremains? It's Sunday, folks, so I'm going in on theists. I'm going on people who believe. But I actually respect theists though, but we just have, our obvious disagreement. But yeah, so you have to look at these videos with a grain of salt. You have to look at it with a clear-eyed view, an objective view, and say, these private jet, like it's like when around the time, if you were afraid to go on an airplane around August to September 2001, I could kind of side with you, but I couldn't really, because those are extreme occurrences. Aaliyah's death on a private jet plane, a personal jet, and of course the events of September 11, 2001. You would have been like, whoa, but you're getting into a car, and the chances of you being in a horrific collision with some other vehicle is exponential. It's exponentially higher than you getting into a plane crash. You can say that for so many people. Otis Redding. You can say that for what's his name? Buddy Holly. You can say that for Patsy Cline. Just to name a few people that died in air collisions, or that passed away in aircraft travel. So we're at zero again. Everybody, did I clear the room? What happened? But anyway, no, it's just goofy. It's really goofy. Really goofy stuff. So we have to keep that. We have to keep it in context. Keep it all in context. We have to keep all this in context. I'm gonna just fly around with different let me see if there's another. I'm gonna try to see if there's some more news. I know there's a lot of news going on. So this, I think, is the actual. They're actually going to speak. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make 100% sure. What is this? What is this?
Filling the cabin, and then flight attendants.
Wait a minute.
Tonight, chaos on an Air China flight after a fire sparked by a lithium battery broke out mid-air, according to the airline. You can see the flames coming out of this carry-on bag in an overhead compartment, smoke filling the cabin, and then flight attendants quickly responding. The flight from Hangzhou, China to Seoul Saturday was diverted to Shanghai. Air China saying in a statement the battery spontaneously combusted, adding that no one was injured. This just the latest terrifying battery fire on airplanes. In January, a portable power bank was believed to have started the fire that engulfed this Air Busan plane and injured 7 people. And look at this video from 2023. Flight crew poured water on a carry-on backpack after a battery caught fire while boarding. Experts say lithium-ion batteries can overheat and go into what's called thermal runaway. It's why the FAA doesn't allow them in checked luggage, and why Southwest recently became the first U.S. airline to require passengers keep power banks and portable charging devices in plain sight while in use during a flight.
Do you think we're going to be seeing more restrictions on lithium-ion batteries moving forward?
I hope so. We're seeing some of the overseas carriers say you cannot use these charging banks on the airplane. I think that may very well find its way into the U.S.
And experts say that cheaply made devices, like often ones that are handed out for free, or devices that have been dropped or damaged, are most at risk of igniting. Jose?
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Okay, so they just gave a little bit of context to that. I'm glad they did, because I was wondering. I was like, "What is going on with this?" They said that the aircraft, the air carrier, explained what it was. It's because the lithium batteries get overheated and get a runaway condition or something like that. So it's helped to have some context to the story. But Skylar Hitchens in the house. What is this? What's the Hitchens part? You talking about? Because I'm talking like Christopher Hitchens. Are you talking the late great Christopher Hitchens? I got on the plane in a Burger King crown. Oh, I get on the plane in a Burger King crown. That's funny. Yeah, but it's is this propaganda now? I mean, that was NBC News, but ABC News definitely carries it. I have to start watching the other channels because they've been going at it for the past few years they've been going, talking about these aircraft, whatever, fire or door open or a fight or something like that. It's wild. I'm gonna look for another story. I'm interested in this Venezuela stuff. This Venezuela stuff is kind of crazy. This is wild. I don't understand it. Someone has to break it down to me Barney style. It doesn't make any sense to me, huh? Okay.
President Donald Trump's pressure campaign on Venezuela and its leader is escalating after the president admitting that the U.S. is actively operating inside the country. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports.
I think Venezuela is feeling heat.
The U.S. military has launched at least 5 airstrikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in recent weeks, 4 of which reportedly originated from Venezuela. At a White House dinner for donors last night, the president riffed on the strikes and pulled no punches.
We had a lot of drugs coming in by water, and that stopped. In fact, nobody wants to go fishing anymore.
Now the president is applying even more pressure, saying he's authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations in the South American country.
I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America, and a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea.
Earlier this month, the Trump administration declared the U.S. is in armed conflict with drug cartels, allowing the president to conduct these strikes. But there are mounting questions about that authority.
The big debate is, are these drug traffickers, should they be treated like criminals, or are they terrorists? Are they enemy combatants?
Venezuelan officials say the strikes are not about drugs, and that the U.S. ultimately wants to take control of their country's oil resources. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are split over the president's actions.
He's the commander-in-chief. When he sees an invasion coming against the United States, he takes action.
The Constitution is pretty clear. You want to go to war, you got to go to Congress.
So far, all of the strikes have been in international waters, but President Trump says he is not ruling out striking inside Venezuela. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
The government shutdown has entered its 16th day after Congress failed to pass a spending.
Hey, they're going with something different. I'm done with the aircraft because I guess talking circles with that. But yeah, this Venezuela stuff is getting on my nerves too. There's a difference between terrorists and criminals. They both commit crimes, but it's on a different scale. It's just like there's the police and there's the military. There's different jurisdictions. There's different, chains of command. It's just totally different. So these strikes on these boats are really worrying me because I don't know really where they're going. I'm slow. I'm stupid. I don't understand. So I have to figure this out. What the Venezuelan boats, like, they're carrying drugs. Okay, great. Well, legalize drugs. It wouldn't be an issue. And that's the thing too. You can't have so much, drugs. Why not? I don't understand that. If I got a quarter ounce of coke or got a whole, chunk of kilos worth of coke, what difference does that make? I just have more kilos of coke. How does that? Who is getting hurt by me having more cocaine than the next person? Oh no, it's got to be at least. You got to have an eighth. You can only have an eighth of coke. You can't have a key. You can't have keys. Sorry, you can't have kilos of coke. Somebody explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader, or not even a fifth grader, a 5-year-old. Explain it to me Barney style. Let me know. This is getting out of hand. This is really getting out of hand. It's a problem. And I'm just, taken aback by it because, we don't have to have these issues. If you legalize drugs, I'll say that's gonna be my my calling card for this show. Legalize all narcotics, every single scheduled drug, legalize it. Totally, completely, wholly. Legalize it. Make sure that you have within reason, the idea that drugs can be legalized rationally, not for children, not, I guess that's the main thing. You keep it away from children. People under 17 and under can't do it. Maybe 17 can do it, just not under 17. That could be one of the only restrictions. And don't tax it. Don't put any, regulations and controls on it. But people are full of the spirit of Jesus, because they're like, Jesus wasn't snorting coke. If Jesus snorted coke, my God, that'd be the most legal. If Jesus snorted coke and it was on record in the Bible, that would be the big. If he did heroin, which he looked like he did when he's on the cross, he looks like a heroin addict. They would be so legalized. But well, Jesus did cocaine. Jesus did heroin. Nothing wrong with that. He got a little booger sugar. He was riding the brown horse. It'd be so legal. It'd be you can get it at your convenience stores. It'd be right behind. It'd be probably be in the glass. Okay, so it'll be in the glass. Okay, gotcha. It's in the glass, but you can still access it. You can still get it. The irony. Cigarettes, alcohol kills more people every single day, just like Chris Rock said. Kills, I think he said MFers every day. But cocaine, heroin, fent, all that can't even compare to how many deaths that cigarettes and alcohol have caused over the past few decades. Can't even compare. It's just like the airplane and the car. The car is drugs. The airplane is the car is cigarettes and alcohol, and the plane is drugs and narcotics and Schedule 1 drugs. That's just a fact. This is the reality. You can't say anything different. That's the super irony of our times. It's a big irony. Irony that most people are afraid to get on a flight. Irony that scheduled drugs should be continue to be illegal. When the legal drugs, alcohol and nicotine and caffeine. Oh my God, caffeine. Oh my God. If you just try to think about that for a day, for a few seconds, actually, what would happen in a day if coffee was banned If coffee was said to be completely illegal, it was a scheduled narcotic or something like that. That's how you would ruin the world. That's how you would ruin America. America runs on Dunkin'. America's hooked on Starbucks. You know, they gotta get their Seattle Best. They gotta get their mocha. They gotta get their lattes. And it's a shame too, because so many people don't realize that these different substances, the scheduled substances, the scheduled narcotics, they could possibly be beneficial in some way. Or if not, then they're just not beneficial. Like, smoking cigarettes. Totally legal though. Totally legal. It's wild. So I have to say that because it's just something that doesn't have to be. We just legalize it and make it that way. So you got stuff from a few days ago, from a few months ago, from a day ago. Trying to get the best results here. I'm not seeing a whole lot. Let me see. Let's put news. Okay, I'm looking for it right now. Let me see. News about Hamas. Let me see.
So Israeli soldiers saluting the remains of 3 more deceased hostages now back home as more families who've endured years of heartache finally get some closure.
The IDF releasing the names of those returned so far. This comes as the U.S. and Israel threaten Hamas with major consequences if they fail to hand over the remaining hostages and disarm.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yink joins us now from Israel with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Overnight, Hamas released the bodies of 3 additional hostages. The total still in Gaza stands at 21. This issue could be a sticking point as negotiators look to transition to phase 2 of the agreement. Regional media reports that Egyptian teams will enter Gaza to help Hamas locate the remains. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke about the efforts to return these hostages.
We will spare no effort and no means to return them. I believe that with this method, we will first receive news about the return of additional deceased hostages, I hope in the coming hours, but we are determined to return them all.
Inside Gaza, reaction continues to the ceasefire deal. There's also incredibly dangerous environments for Palestinian civilians as Hamas has executed a number of people accused of stealing aid and working with Israel. President Trump was asked about Hamas yesterday and their commitment to disarm as part of the broader peace plan.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm or we will disarm them. Got it?
A spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to brief the media later today on the latest with the ceasefire. Guys?
Hey, Trey, so the IDF is not going to leave until the international force comes in. Do we know what countries have committed this international force, since obviously the UN, with its dicey history in the area, would not be acceptable to the Israelis?
Yeah, Brian, we know a number of countries that were at the table during these discussions, including Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey. It's unclear how the force breakdown will look like, but we do know that U.S. Central Command is committing 200 American soldiers not to go into Gaza, but to help with the coordination of this effort. The Americans want to oversee this process to make sure it runs smoothly.
Do you
Brian?
think Hamas would target any of these international forces, or would they understand that those international forces represent countries that have basically financed them?
Look, it's a big concern. And in the past, when there have been international forces within Gaza, and we're talking about just forces that are supporting aid operations, they have been targeted. And so moving forward, it will be a big concern, and we can't expect this international coalition to be heavily armed in preparation, because even if Hamas disarms, this is going to be a very long process. There are still small weapons throughout Gaza. You see these videos that are circulating online of Hamas executing people. They have machine guns. They still have a small supply of rockets and mortars. And so the concern will be high, and the preparation for these forces will be extensive. And again, that's part of the reason that U.S. Central Command is going to oversee all of this, because the process to implement phase 2 of this deal will be quite lengthy.
So, Trey, if you look at the front covers of the newspapers there in Israel, Fox got their hands on some of them. And the first one is the Jerusalem Post. It says, "The nation elated as living hostages return home." You see all these pictures of the reminders of when they're reunited with their family members. What is the mood now in Israel?
The mood is a mood of elation across Israel following this successful peace agreement that led to the release of 20 living hostages. The Israeli people waited for more than 2 years, and they were promised back during the Biden administration that this war would come to an end, that negotiators would find a solution, and it just didn't happen. And it dragged on and on until President Trump sent his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, with a mission to get the deal across the finish line. And so there has been a mood of celebration. Last night, there was the end of the Jewish holiday of Sukkot with a holiday called Simchat Torah. And you could see in the streets of Tel Aviv, people were dancing. They were holding Torahs. And it was a mood that we'd not seen here since the October 7th massacre. And you do get this sense of relief among the Israeli people because they've been waiting for this moment. And so there are still difficult days ahead. You heard reminders from the families of the hostages who came out saying, don't give up yet. There are still 21 bodies being held by Hamas. But there's an understanding that the Middle East has entered into a new chapter. And despite the challenging days ahead and the challenges that will come with trying to implement phase 2 of this broader peace plan, there is hope in the Middle East for the first time in so long.
All right, great job out there, Trey.
And great interview with the president.
Exactly, right there. Even the president gave us some kudos for his excellent reporting throughout this entire war. You don't want to blow up the deal that's just happened with peace. But when you have Hamas clearly violating it so soon, they haven't released all the hostages, and they're executing the bodies. And they're executing their own citizens right now. And so I don't know if it's going to be us to enforce that, but at least the Arab world has to step in and say, hey, are you going to blow up the deal this quickly? You have zero leverage. You've already released all the living hostages. This only ends one way.
Well, when Benjamin Netanyahu was interviewed, he said they do have to disarm. And he said, this is what it looks like. The first Hamas has to give up their arms. Second, they have to make sure there are no weapons factories in Gaza and no smuggling of weapons into Gaza. We are learning more, Brian, about some of the hostages and what they went through.
Yeah, so let's go over some of them and what they've told us already about their captivity. Brutal as you can imagine. First off, to find out that their captors are professionals, not necessarily full-time terrorists. He says he was, Aventan Orr says he was isolated for 2 years, starved and lost 40% of his body weight. Matan Angris, brutally beaten and psychologically tortured with lies about his family. Says his family was dead. Thankfully, they weren't.
And then Elkanah Bot, shackled in darkness, starved, lost all sense of time and space. Ram Braslovsky, shot at, beaten, kept in complete darkness without showers.
Avatar David was bound, starved, and forced to dig his own grave. And Ziv and Gali Berman were held separately and completely cut off from the world. Amaran moved between 23 different places in Gaza. And to your point, Brian, that you were making about the torture they experienced, there's that report from the Washington Free Beacon. And it talks about the people that tortured them were teachers.
One was a first grade teacher, lecturers
at colleges and university. So for all of the rhetoric in the media about, oh, innocent people that's in Gaza, people that were professionals that had graduate degrees were a part of Hamas.
That shows you about the indoctrination
That's
at such a
exactly
young
right.
age. They all wanted to take part in it, even if they weren't a part of Hamas, or maybe they are a part of Hamas,
Yeah.
even though they're doctors and lawyers.
So here's some of comments from the hostage families. They speak out after the return of all 20.
My deepest, heartfelt gratitude to President Donald Trump. Because of you, I'm alive. Thanks to you, I'm standing here today. And thanks to you, my little brother is finally home. Thank you for never giving up and for having the courage to lead when everything seems impossible.
Today, for the first time in 2 years, our family can finally breathe. Gali and Ziv are home. They are safe, alive, and back in the arms of our mother, who never stopped believing this day would come. For 738 days, our lives were trapped between hope and fear. Yesterday, that chapter ended. Seeing Gali and Ziv again, holding them after so long, was like feeling the world start to move again.
That there are still 24 hostages held by Hamas, whose families long for foreclosure. They deserve to be honored and given a proper burial. I call on the international community to keep pressure on Hamas. We will not stop our as family until all the remaining 24 hostages are home.
Right. And the question is, I mean, are they doing this on purpose, or they really can't find them? Or the other
Which could be
bodies?
a real possibility. But now with the Egyptians going in, and because the president has a great relationship with them, hopefully we have an honest broker that's going to be able to tell us the truth if they're actually missing or are they just holding them back.
So we're going to have Eli Sharabi, who was a hostage for 491 days in Gaza, and he is going to speak with us. He's coming on our show, and he also lost his brother. His brother was a hostage, but his remains were just returned home.
One even more.
All right, I still say you don't play fair with terrorists or evildoers, as George W. Bush would say. The evildoers, you don't play fair. You say, "Ha, we got you. You gave us the hostages. You're gonna give us all the hostages, even the ones that are deceased." And there it is. Wow, Son of Sun 97. Did the plane burn? No, they put out the fire. Thank you, Son 90. I was just telling you, hopefully you show up. Thank you for that Facebook post. But I'm going off of trending topics. That happened a few weeks ago. That smash and grab. I looked at the video. I took my time. I was gonna do it. Then I said, I needed stuff that's happening, right up to the minute, right on time. But I appreciate you. He said, "Thank you, God." But I appreciate you. Keep sending me stuff. Don't stop. Don't say, "Oh, he's gonna say," unless it's shootings or SA stuff like that. I can't do that. Smash and grabs I can do. I could have done smash and grab. That was recent. That wasn't a recent video, but I do appreciate you. Don't think I'm just trying to gaff you off here. Oh man, forget that nigga. No, I really look at the videos. I saw it, and it was I never seen that video before. I can describe it right now. I'm not going to show the video, but I describe it. These criminals, these lowlifes, these scumbags, crashed a SUV into looked like a jewelry store or something like that, and they just wouldn't imply. They smashed into the store and grabbed the goods, and the guy was 88 years old or something like that. He didn't look like he had a shirt on or something like that. It was wild, and he was he was knocked over or something like that in the hospital. But yeah, so that would have been perfect. I need those kind of videos. Give me those videos. Well, whether it's old or new, it's worth covering only if it's new, because this is trending. You can see the words trending. Smash and grabs are growing. It's a good topic. You give me a recent one, I will do it. I will not, deny, doing it. But I want to talk about Israel right now. They need. I think if Trump if Trump does what I'm saying right now, I might vote for him a third time. Now, I've never voted for him, but for a third term, I'll make sure he gets in 3 times. Because this is the only way you deal with evil. You don't play with them. You don't play nice. You don't play fair. You get all the hostages. You clear out all the people. You send in text messages of information saying we're about to bomb the ish out of you, and we're not going to stop at all until every one of you is deceased or limping or about to die. That's all that has to happen. That has to happen. That's it. There's no other way. It's the only way you can deal with them. It's the only way. There's no other way of doing it. You have to strike hard, and you have to pause, and you have to strike with intensity. And Hamas has to capitulate. They have to give up. They not disarm them. They have to give up their arms. They have to want to give. We're so bereft of everything. We're so without vim and vigor. We can't go on. We can't go on. We can't do this. We're gonna willfully give up our weapons. We're gonna beg you to take our weapons. We can't take this kind of shelling anymore. We can't just take this kind of bombing anymore. We can't take it. Please take our weapons. Take our strongholds. That's the kind of war you need to wage. That's what needs to happen. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Like I said, if Trump does that, he might get a vote out of me for the third time, for his third term. So I can only harp on that. I can only harp on that because these Israeli citizens deserve so much more than what has been given to them by their leaders. They're not even thanking their leader Netanyahu. They're thanking President Trump. They're not thanking Prime Minister Netanyahu. If Netanyahu says, all right, let's bomb them now, and after the last hostage is free, then you just completely flatten Gaza to dust, completely. That's the best way you can do this. So I'm just amazed. I'm totally amazed at that. I think that there's a good chance that people will see that Hamas is just it's weak. It's something to be considered. It's very serious and important, but it's very weak. It has no standing. It has no structure beyond its governing body. It doesn't have anything else. It's always something else. It's like, is Hezbollah defeated? Are they done with the phone bombings and the beeper bombings? Are they done? Are we finished with them? Are we almost finished with Hamas? It's like, who is left? I mean, Trump was talking about this is like the 3,000 year broker. It's been going on for 3,000 years. We can finally stop it. I want to see if that's even possible. If he's able to do that, that would be amazing. That would be amazing if he was able to do that. That would be definitely amazing. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be like, here's softball, You did release the hostages. You pulled through. You came through on your end in the bargain. All right, we're gonna do whatever you want to say. You do. You want whatever you want us to do. We'll do it. Whatever you say we'll do. We'll do it. That's what I think is gonna happen. I can foresee that going on. I can definitely foresee that. So I think that's true. The fact that the hostages were freed means everything. Means everything. To the families, to the friends, the people that were waiting anxiously for over 2 years to see them, and that those moments of joy, those moments of sheer elation and happiness. I mean, it's just so gratifying, you know. It's very pleasing and very satisfying to see that. Bumba says yeet. I don't know what yeet means. He says that a couple times, but I don't know what yeet means. I'm a little slow. I have to look it up. But the various hostages, you know, just thinking about their trials and tribulations and the fatigue and the hunger and the loss of weight and the loss of sense of time and space, and just that's and this is the weird thing. They're kind of like it's kind of like being a prisoner of war. You're not a prisoner of war because you're not in the military, but they might have been because they have to be in the military for the Israeli IDF. So I'm confused about that too. I'm really confused about a lot of that. Because what I understood, like this conscription in Israel, unless you have some kind of prevailing illness or some kind of defect or something like that, some kind of disability or something like that. I don't mean to say defect, but disability or something like that. Yeah, this is what people say. Oh my God, yeah, you went through that in recruit training. Oh my, how could you take the DIs? They're so rough and they're so demanding. Well, that's what this is what it's for. Because if you're a prisoner of war, they're not gonna be like, oh, how are you doing? Are you all right? Or can we get you some more tea and sugar? And no, it's hell. That's the whole point of the military. That's what's so great about the United States Marine Corps, especially because I can only vouch for it. I never went through any other one, but they were professional. It's a weird kind of situation. It's a very strange situation because you're both a nurturer and a guardian, and you're supposed to be a prisoner of war chief. You know, you're supposed to have that all three together and more, but especially those things: a guardian, prisoner of war chief, and a nurturer, a provider. That's what you're supposed to be. But you know, mostly people see the prisoner of war chief come out of drill instructors. But that's what they're preparing you for. That's the best thing you can possibly have. Because they're not going the people in prisoner of war, hostage situations, they're not going to be nice and kind to you. They're not going to be like friends and buddies. That's the strange part about Marine Corps recruit training, is the fact that you're being instructed on how to be a Marine, but also you're being challenged on how to be best fit for a prisoner of war situation or a hostage situation. And when's the last time anybody's ever seen a black hostage? Anybody ever seen? And not even from a black, country, not a country in Africa or in the Caribbean. I'm talking about in the Middle East, not land niggers, but sand niggers. When's the last time you seen that? I haven't seen that in a long. I don't think I may have never seen that. Black hostages. I just don't. I don't know if they're even real. There have been, I'm sure, probably going back to World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. There may have been some black prisoners of war, but nobody really fronts them. It's like Dave Chappelle once said. He said, "Black people just aren't good bargaining chips." he has a joke. He says, "I've got 5 black. Hello." As a terrorist, telling authorities, telling the president or somebody that he had 5 black hostages, and the phone just clicks. But that, I mean, he's telling the truth. It's truth and jest. It's funny, but it's real. It's funny, but it's real. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a whole lot out of you just to discover that, just to look at that. I'm gonna try to find some more videos. What else we got? A ceasefire. That's what the worst thing is. A ceasefire. Should have never opened fire in the first place.
President Zelensky, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here on an historic
Thank
day.
you. Thank you for the invitation.
We really appreciate it. Let's dive right into your meeting with President Trump. What was your biggest takeaway from your meeting with President Trump?
First of all, yes, it was a productive meeting, quite long meeting, more than 2 hours. We spoke about everything. And of course, about possible negotiations, yes, political negotiation. Of course, all of us, all our country will wait for diplomacy. We want to stop this war. We want to stop Putin. And of course, we count on President Trump, on the United States and European allies with this pressure on him. We spoke about air defense and long range. And be honest with you, I have understanding that we can move forward further with air defense, and with long range, our teams will work still. We don't have, this clear understanding for today.
So just to be very clear, your long range, you're talking about your request for those Tomahawk missiles. Did President Trump give you any assurances that the United States will give Ukraine Tomahawk missiles?
First of all, we need Tomahawks, and when we speak about long range, people have just to understand, we use thousands of long range drones, Ukrainian production, on military goals. But Russia uses not only drones of Iranian production, they use and also their production. Be honest, they have their drones, but also they use missiles of Russian productions and missiles long range of North Korea production. It's very difficult just to operate with Ukrainian drones. We need long range Tomahawks and similar. United States has similar things. We need it for mixed using, like Russia uses. It's understandable how it works. So our teams work on it, I said, and I'm honest. It's good that President Trump didn't say no, but for today, didn't say yes.
He didn't say yes to Tomahawk missiles.
Yeah. This is a sensitive question, and messages from President that it's not enough for American interests, the number of you have. Yes, I can't share these details. I'm sorry, this is your internal questions, but I count on continuation of this dialogue.
In the beginning of the week, President Trump seemed open to giving Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. Then after speaking to President Putin, he changed his tone. Do you think President Trump changed his tone about Tomahawk missiles after speaking with President Putin?
I don't know really, because we didn't meet before. this phone call. But for today, it's good again that he didn't say no. Yes, but I think that it's what he understands, maybe understood after phone call. I don't know. I was not during phone call. So, but I knew about it, that tomahawks. It's very sensitive for Russians. They afraid that United States can deliver Ukraine. That I think that Putin afraid that United States will deliver us tomahawks.
Just give them the tomahawks. Ukraine, according to Dr. Ankar Gate, is a free state, but it's not as free as Israel. Ukrainians still don't have some basic rights as Israelis do. There's the Israeli population is far more diverse than the Ukrainian population. So I would argue that if you get those tomahawks, push Russia back. They're inching their way through. They're not rolling through Ukraine. This all can be stopped soon too, and maybe Trump will get a Nobel Prize. I don't know, but Nobel Peace Prize to be specific. So Zelensky, almost ironic. He speaks better English than most people speak English in America. I can sometimes, get lost in what he's saying, but I can kind of understand more so what he says than some Americans. Even though the English is not his first language, but I think that just give them tomahawks. Just push Russia back. Just completely obliterate. I still say bomb Moscow. I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm not a military strategist, but if I could do something, just bomb Moscow, bomb the Kremlin, bomb all of that. Is it St. Basil's Basilica? Is that right? Let me make sure. I don't think I had that right. Let me see what it is. No, that's not right. Oh yeah, it is. It is St. Basil's Cathedral. The St. Basil's Cathedral. Just bomb that. See what happens. FAFO. See how that goes. FAFO on that. Keep that going. I would just say, bomb Russia all to pieces. They started it. We got to finish it. The people in the West, the people in Europe, it's up to, and people in the Americas, it's up to us to find a solution to all this. I mean, it's amazing how, so many different activities are going on, still in that region, in the Russian-Ukrainian region, and how disorienting it can be. But it seems like Zelensky is a pretty great leader. He's pretty great. He seems like he's got it together. He seems like he has a stronghold on it. Pretty much, I'm saying he's not perfect. He's not absolute. He should be more. To me, it seems like he should be more aggressive or assertive. I should say that's even better. He should be more assertive in his actions than he shows himself to be. If he can figure it out and really display a sense of urgency at this hour. I mean, what is it? It was 2022? It was going on 4 years now. Next year will be 4 years. I think it was 3 years ago. Or was it 21? I can't remember when it first happened. 21 or 22. But yeah, so we have to, respect the idea of him as a leader and for him to be more, just a bit more assertive, just to be a bit more assertive and strong-willed, and even stubborn in a lot of ways. You know, this, like I said, bomb St. Basil's Cathedral, St. Basil, I should guess it is, and continue on with that. All right, it's been fun. It's been Sunday afternoon. I will check you all out on some other date, and just continue to follow and taking all the stuff that I put out. I got writing still on vocal.media. Just go to vocal.media, type in my name, SKYLER space SAUNDERS, and you'll get all my stories. You can follow me. Be a paid subscriber. I mean, you can always be a paid subscriber. That's the best way to do it. It's only $2.99 a month. That's more than you spend on coffee in a day. So I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care.